my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it is a Patreon pick in the year of the pleasure and pain. This has been picked by our good friend Gareth. We are going back, Dave, to 1991, the Chris Phelps sweet spot, if you've been listening to the podcast of movies, where I seem to have picked quite a lot around this year. But, Dave, we're not picking a classic. We're picking a classic, my friend. I don't even know what that means, but there you go, because I've watched this quite a few times when I was a kid. It was one of my favourite cartoons. I used to run home from school to watch the cartoon on BBC One. This is the sequel, Dave, to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles II, The Secret of the Ooze. And this was out from 1991. So, Dave, do you remember watching this one? Because I know you've seen this before.
So, I think I've seen this one, right? But I'm not actually convinced. I know I definitely saw the first one. You know, the Turtles were huge, and I think this week I've been really swimming in nostalgia about the 80s and 80s cartoons and how spoiled we were. I mean, it was really a change in legislation, I think, that Ronald Reagan did, where, you know, the lid got lifted on, you know, basically peppering us with cartoon-like adverts for toys, because that's what it was all about, wasn't it? It was basically fucking consumer advertising targeting Saturday mornings to get us to pester our parents to go out and buy shit. And there's so many things like the Transformers. I watched Bumblebee last week again, by the way, and absolutely phenomenal. I love it. And it's the opening, because, you know, the first Michael Bay movies, the Transformers just didn't really look like we recognize them from the cartoons, whereas at the start of Bumblebee, they definitely did. Yeah, proper like Shockwave and stuff there. It was just amazing. But yeah, another sort of cartoon fad, if you like, was the Turtles. Again, like you, after school, watching the Turtles, and just there was something magical about it. I just absolutely loved it and loved that world. And so when that first movie came out in 1990, then yeah, I was all up for it. Now, I think the problem, or not the problem, the situation is, in 1991, I'm 15. And so that is a bit of a transitional year for me, where I'm sort of recognizing the fairer sex a bit more than I was previously. And then I like Terminator 2. I remember going to the pictures, watching that. Wayne's World was 91 as well. It felt like that real in-betweener stage where I was like, I know, of course I was a fucking kid still, but in my head, I wasn't quite a kid still anymore. I was like transitioning to adulthood. And so I think by the time this comes out, this is part of my previous life as a child. and I'm no longer into the Turtles, because, you know, I'm too cool for school for that now. You know, I mean, now I'm more likely to pick up a fucking Turtles comic than probably in 1991, to be honest. But, you know, you just have to sort of get over yourself, figure out who you are, who you want to be, and that. So, yeah, 91, I was probably thinking in my own head I was a bit too old. Now, I thought I'd seen this and 100% recognized the music. You know, that was everywhere in 91, wasn't it? But when I was watching this film, I'm like, yeah, I thought I'd seen it, but I don't really remember anything of it. So, and that's why I say I think I might have seen it, but yeah, I'll hand on heart, I actually can't say that I have. So, I mean, what about yourself, Chris?
I think for me, it's yeah, I loved it. I've seen this. I think it may have been a dodgy copy, Dave. I think the first one was a dodgy copy, definitely, because it was such a poor version on VHS. But I think it was because MC Hammer did the first song, Dave, and Vanilla Ice does the second one. And I think that's where I always put them together as like around that era. Obviously they were sort of like novelty rap acts, weren't they? Which I've been on a rabbit hole, Dave, recently as well. And I didn't realize this. I don't know if you know this. Obviously, Vanilla Ice got apparently he got absolutely shafted and sort of bullied by Suge Knight, who's the guy who's in jail, who was in the car with Tupac.
Hung him out a window or something, didn't he?
Yeah, and just sort of basically robbed him of a load of money and rights and everything. Absolute arsehole. But then also, it was an absolute name and a gangster, Dave, and someone you wouldn't even think, and it was hard as fuck, MC Hammer. MC Hammer
Really?
was legit a tough guy. If you look at the comments and then different things about like rappers and that, like we get rappers who are fake, like Tupac is an absolute, the legend. I've been to where Tupac got shot. Dave, there's stories out there, and his mum never claimed his insurance policy, but there you go. But there's rumors out there like for different rappers, but Tupac was playing a part. Basically, he wasn't the gangster that he played. If you look at the stuff before he became a gangster, he wasn't like he lived that life, but he became that life sort of thing. And that's like the big sort of hoax on some of these rappers. They play gangster, if you know what I mean. And it's a dangerous game, as you know, he got shot. But MC Hammer, you would think was like they're laughing and joking and all this, like fun rapper, was a legit head case, Dave, a proper hard man. Yep. 100%. I was like, this isn't right. Let me just read this again. And honestly, back in the day, he was not someone to mess with, because his name was Hammer then, Dave, not the MC Hammer. I think it was Hammer because he was a bit of a, he had a name on him. But there you go. Not because he had a big cock or anything, but just
I am never going to think about MC Hammer the same again. MC Big Cock. Like fucking Jay from the In-Betweeners. So, I fucking love my music. I take music quite seriously and stuff, but, I have various shames over the past, and I say the first CD I ever bought was Yaz and the Plastic Population, and that was my first CD. But the second one was MC Hammer. Please, Hammer, don't hurt them.
Well, Dave.
It's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? Like, now I will say, obviously, my dad had a fucking huge LP collection, and so, had all sorts, like a lot of Beatles, but loads of other great stuff as well, and so I had that. But yeah, my young fucking CD choices weren't great.
No, well, you know what I've said. I know I've said it before in here, Dave. But I, like my mum and dad, went on the bus to Manchester City Centre. I had about £5 to my name with my mates. I was 11 years old. I bought Let's Talk About Sex, Salt and Pepper, Dave. Well, Chris didn't have that still at that point, but I still bought it because I always had a thing for Salt and Pepper, I must admit, especially the tall one, Dave. I think she was Pepper. And then I bought Will Smith Summertime, and that was on Will Smith Summertime was on record and on tape, and Let's Talk About Sex was on a little, was it a 6-inch LP or whatever it was at the time, but yeah, from W.H. Smith in the Manchester Arndale, and then got mugged by about 5 lads who took our bus money but didn't want to take the record and the tape, Dave, at the same time. Because a couple of years older than us, we thought we were going to have a fight with him, and we're just like, yeah, we're going to get beat up. And I had to plead with the bus driver to let me come home, and he did. On Oxford Road in Manchester. Well, there you go.
Okay, no, and it was 7
Great
inches,
days.
Chris. You're doing yourself.
Oh, sorry. I fucking wish, Dave. But there you go. Oh, by the way, I've got to do this, and I know this is stupid, and you mentioned his name about fucking 10 minutes ago, but when you said Ronald Reagan, I just wanted to go, the actor, he's vice president, Jerry Lewis. I just wanted to say it, but you were being serious, and I just wanted to go across you, so I had to get it out. I know I've said it. I'm happy. Whenever you hear that
just my
name.
mind's eye is just gone to a big googly-eyed fucking Doc Brown there. So
As he slams the door. I
Yeah.
fucking love it. I had to get it out. It's one of them things like, I've got to say it no matter what. I've been sat here for 10 minutes waiting to say it now. Sorry.
I could just imagine that SpongeBob meme, you know, where he's got his arms by the side and he's just dying. He's excited and dying to say something.
That's me.
That's been
That's
you.
me.
Yeah.
I've been on my hands. I have. I've been sat on my hands going, do I say it? Do I say it? I've got to say it. I was just I was pissing myself when you were talking, just laughing to myself, Dave. As I do.
But anyway, Chris, on that note, should we get into our trailer?
Let's go.
They're back, but don't worry. This time, they're much safer.
Yes, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the sequel where the studio panicked and wrapped the entire film in bubble wrap. I don't know what that voice is. Carry on, Dave.
Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael.
Still ninjas, still turtles, but now their weapons are basically emotional support accessories.
After parents complained that the first film was too dark,
Hollywood responded by removing violence, danger, and anything resembling tension.
enter the ooze, a mysterious substance capable of creating monsters.
Or, as it's more commonly known, radioactive Capri Sun. I sound like Sean Dyche now, Dave. Carry on.
It takes Tokar and Razor, terrifying new villains.
Who behave like overgrown toddlers that need a nap. Stick a chop.
Shredder returns, stronger than ever.
And is immediately killed by the set collapsing. Capitalism's finest villain arc.
Featuring more jokes, more pizza, and a soundtrack designed to distract you from the plot.
Including Vanilla Ice, who appears to remind you this film was engineered in a boardroom.
Watch as 4 mutant warriors battle evil.
By using slapstick, shouting, and aggressive gymnastics.
This time, the Turtles face their greatest enemy yet.
Concerned parents with letter writing campaigns.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles II, The Secret of the Ooze.
A film that proves if you remove everything interesting, children will still clap.
Heroes in a half shell.
But fully sanitized for your protection. Hiya!
In New York City, a young pizza delivery boy named Kino inadvertently encounters burglars at a mall on his route and tries to stop them. The burglars attack Kino, who proves to be a skilled martial artist, but he is soon overwhelmed before the arrival of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They vanish after rescuing Kino, tying the burglars up, and taking the pizza he was delivering, leaving behind the money to pay for it. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Well, Dave, I've seen this movie a few times, but and I picked the first one, then I picked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1. That's one of my picks.
Did we do that, or we did the Christmas one?
No, I think I picked the first one. I'm pretty certain I picked it. Because I've had this. Oh, Jesus. Sam's right over me fucking shoulder here, Dave. Jesus Christ of a hot tea. Fucking she really threw it on me on purpose. Fucking hell.
You imagine if we were doing a horror film or something.
Oh my God. I didn't I'd be like that with the turtles. Might get me defib out. Oh my God. Baby, I keep that in that fucking. She scared the shit out of me. There's just a cup of tea over my shoulder. What the fuck? And I said, "Can you make me a brew?" Because she's asked me, and I said, "Oh, I'll have a brew."
But your ADHD brain just forgot about it as soon as you said it.
I thought it was Shredder over my shoulder. Right. So yeah, no, we did do the first one. I picked the first
MC
one.
Hammer.
Definitely. Yeah, MC. Well, MC with the hammer. Yeah, that's him, Dave. But anyway, moving on.
Just resting on your shoulder. Sorry. I'll stop. What was that big Eddie there?
Yeah. Here comes the hammer. Oh. I'm doing the moves now. You can't even see him. I'm doing the fucking Davy Brent move. Yeah, I'm doing the Davy Brent arms now. The fucking dinosaur arms. Anyway, no, so having watched the first one, I genuinely forgot the tone of this, even though I've seen this one more than the first one. It's so fucking slapstick, in it. Like, it's not even what's weird about this is it had a budget of 25 million, and at times, especially at the start, like the martial arts stuff, I know they said they had to tone it down and everything because of like there was a lot of people, like a lot of kids went to see it and were scared of the first one. I don't know why, but I think that was more of a depiction of what the cartoons were. The cartoons weren't, the cartoons, but there was always that little bit of summer, wasn't there? You look at Kang and Shredder and that. They were always doing something. They weren't like nice looking characters or anything. But yeah, this one, fuck me, it's like fucking it's like a parody one. We did the Turtles Christmas, didn't we? I was on Comics in Motion and Dave, this is almost on that level. The fighting is fucking terrible in this. Like, they literally don't hit anybody, and we've got the classic one by one fighting scenes where the Foot Clan stand off them. Now, reading the trivia, it was because the actors who were in the suits couldn't see. They had like slightly little slits in their eyes, so they couldn't see around them. So they had to fight them one on one, and the Foot Clan had to like sort of crouch down when they got hit. And that's why the fight scenes look so stupid, like not video game, but like cartoon, like, what, let's fight you one-on-one, or the old 70s movies, because it's shit. And Kino, the lad the guy who's the pizza guy, is actually the stunt double who does is Donatello, isn't he, in the suits? They liked him that much. They give him the part for this movie because he didn't want Casey Jones in because they said he was too violent, but he's actually Donatello, so he's doing a double shift in this one. But yeah, the jokes and everything are just stupid.
I think he was Donatello in the first movie, and then they liked him so much, then they give him a role outside the suit in the second one. I don't think he plays Donatello in. Well, how would he? Especially when they're in the same scenes.
Oh, but I thought he was in this one as well. But anyway, you're right. They liked him so much. They bought the company, Dave, Victor Kayan. But yeah, the start of it's fucking terrible. Let's cut the bullshit. This movie is fucking terrible. Like, it's absolutely awful. But there's so much so familiar about it, and I just love the stupid like cowabunga shit when the turtles are talking, Dave. I know it's shit, but because I love the cartoon so much, I don't think I can be fucking subjective on this one. I just love this movie. It's fucking rubbish, and the story is literally written on a fucking back of a stamp, but it is just such good fun for me. There's so much nostalgia picking this. I'm so pleased Gareth has picked it, Dave. What an absolute atrocious movie this is.
When this pick came up, and I definitely remembered, the Vanilla Ice connection, but I'd kind of forgotten. And like I say, I'm confused about, did I actually watch this or not? And then I was thinking about the year, and then I was thinking, oh yeah, I could have maybe at the time thought this was a bit too behind me, a bit too kiddie. And so I'd forgotten a lot of it, and I went into it thinking this is going to be fucking terrible. Like, this is going to be really bad. But there's going to be a bit of nostalgia that comes with it. I actually quite enjoyed it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Objectively, it is not good. And I think the tonal shift, I mean, you have to ground yourself in, you're very much watching a kid's movie. And I haven't watched the Michael Bay movies, and I don't know, will I ever? I mean, maybe when I'm retired and I'm struggling for other fucking things to do, maybe I'll get to them then. But there's just something that I'm not drawn in by it. I just don't really want to watch it. Maybe it's all the other Michael Bay movies, but probably a bit unfair. He does have some good stuff, but anyway, so. Yeah, I'm like, okay, right. My mind is calibrated to this is a kid's movie. And I will say, Ernie Reyes Jr., I mean, when he comes in with the pizza, and basically stumbles into a room full of ninjas, committing a burglary. And then he actually starts to throw down. I mean, let's face it. I mean, one of the first lessons, if you do any martial arts, should be if someone's got a knife or something, or the odds are vastly against you, fucking run away. Right? Yeah. That is your best thing that you could do. But no, he decides he's going to take them all on. And I actually think he's got some decent moves. And I was watching this, and I was thinking, why isn't this guy a bigger star? I mean, he's knee-high to a grasshopper, so that probably doesn't help. But I don't know. I thought his martial arts were pretty good. And I guess when the turtles come in and they start doing the martial arts, I guess maybe again my expectations are so low about how the fuck can they navigate in these suits? Like, how can they do anything in these suits? Like, if you imagine, right, someone says, stick this turtle suit on, now touch your fucking toes, or just like, I don't know, kick a football around. It would be really difficult. So again, all of this is in my head, and so when I'm watching the martial arts, I'm thinking, well, considering they got those suits on, fucking hell, it's not bad. They've clearly got proper martial artists in there. They haven't just got some extras and said, wear this, and because ultimately people are going to hear a different voice actor, and it won't actually be you. And the other thing that I didn't know, and maybe if I went back and I listened, if we have done the original Turtles, maybe it came up then, but I didn't really. If I did know then, I've certainly forgot it until now. Didn't realize it's fucking Golden Harvest, isn't it? Literally a Hong Kong studio, famous for martial arts movies, has put together this whole fucking, or not only this movie, but the previous movie. So I hadn't realized that. And then, so I must admit, it gets, into the first 10 minutes or something. And I'm like, I think I'm going to enjoy this. Like, not in a massively ironic way, but just transporting myself, allowing myself to, unlock that kid brain, which I didn't allow myself to unlock in 1991. And the only thing I would say is, though, the emphasis on the pizza and the cheesiness of all the pizza shots, like across New York, I'm like, I do love pizza, but fucking hell, like, that looks rank. Just the cheese just dripping off. And I don't know if they were using silly string to give that effect or whatever the fuck they were using. But yeah, that was another thing I noticed from the opening sort of scenes.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because Keno, is excellent, and I still don't. I know it's all played for jokes, this one, and everything's like a bit of a piss take, but it's the way, like, I think it's Raphael puts him in. It's either Raphael or Michelangelo, because the red and the orange are really hard to distinguish in this movie. But by the way, Dave, we did it on Wednesday, May the 11th, 2022, as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was on our IMDb, so I'll trust that one. So there you go. But yeah, I genuinely feel like he's underused, and when he takes them out and then they sit him in the garbage bin, I'm like, hang on, I think you need him, lads. You had Casey Jones helping you, so I think you need him. But I think I like the dialogue, I like the silliness of it, but when they're doing silly things like getting a big pole and running at the Foot Clan, who are just stood there like fucking you're in a video game, like the proper NPC ones that you can just lever, that just takes it out for me slightly. But I'm like, the nostalgia just kicks in of like, I love these characters.
Yeah.
And the first one, I was watching it now. The first one is a miles better film than this. By a mile, it is better than this. This one has not jumped the shark, but they have just toned it down to the point where it's almost a comedy. And it feels if like the one-liners are just, they've got to put as many one-liners in as possible and hoping something sticks on the wall, throwing the old spaghetti against the wall, something sticks. It just doesn't hit. I think the girl who plays April O'Neil's better. I think there's a bit more of a humility. I mean, the fact they're living in an apartment, Dave, and she's like, oh, there's the skateboard, Donatello, oh, Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and all that, the way she's talking. I'd be like, get this fucking cleaned up, you fucking oink. You know what I mean? You fucking lazy bastard. And then Master Splinter's living with him as well. I mean, Master Splinter, Dave, I love the fact that he's always got a lesson in him, Annie, about like trying to teach him, but they don't listen to him. They're bothered about what's fucking pepperonis on the pizza or whatever, like they are playing that teenage things on it. But I do like the prosthetics. I like the outfits. I would love the ninja outfit like that. They are one of the ultimate fancy. I mean, I'm too tall probably to play a turtle, Dave. But in theory, I would love to have had a suit when I was a kid like that. 'Cause I love these films. I love them. I love the cartoons. I had the figures. My favourite was Michelangelo. I used to play the arcade game all the time, but I always used to play more with Raphael in the cartoons because he had the old the knives, you know what I mean, like the proper ninja knives, didn't he? But Michelangelo and Bebop and Rocksteady, who are not in this movie, Dave, either, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, loved them.
Yeah, and I guess it's a bit of a weird choice, isn't it? Because they come up with these Power Rangers characters that aren't in the cartoons. Just they seem to be just created for the movie, and it's like, just use Bebop and Rocksteady. Like, why? But I think Golden Harvest, they were basically, I mean, it was just a massive cash grab, really. They were taking the feedback from parents, and it's like, oh, God, again, when you just get these films that are created by committee, it's like, oh, the parents complained because, they didn't do any fucking research or anything, and this film's really dark, and, it's not like the cartoon at all. And it's like, of course it's not, but they were very much, just okay, yeah, let's pivot and let's make it much more silly. And so Steve Barron was the director for the first one, and he just stepped away from the project. He's like, I can see where this is going. So you ended up with Michael Pressman coming in, and he's just like, yep, I'll do whatever you want. But you said about the April O'Neil actress. So Paige Torko, by the looks of it. So I mean, she. I mean, I can't remember particularly the April O'Neil from the first one, but she does almost nothing in this. I mean, she's there, but she's not like particularly chasing down stories. She's basically, the landlord for the turtles who are, in an open fucking flat or apartment in New York. And so anyone just looking across presumably could see them. And you got this fucking massive rat walking around. They're supposed to be, ninjas and, invisible. But, yeah, I noticed she didn't. Maybe that's just a thing of movies in the, let's say, the 80s and 90s that, she didn't really affect the plot at all.
Dave, don't be slagging April O'Neil off. I had a crush on the cartoon character April O'Neil when I was younger, Dave. I don't know why.
I'm saying they should have used her more. Like, she didn't really do anything.
No, but I just think like there's a bit more of a bit more connection between the characters. The first one was, I remember, because she's pretty as well. They both are, but maybe you're right, Dave. Maybe I'm just, because I've watched it and had a crush on her watching it when I was a kid. It maybe you're right. I don't know. I mean, the movie's fucking terrible. Let's be honest, Dave. Not many other characters do anything in this movie other than just do stupid like patty cake karate bollocks that just doesn't look right for me at all on the screen. I think even like when they go and Shredder comes into it, Dunny, he's got the main henchman who's like ordering all the Foot Clan around, which I believe Michael J. White actually was one of his first acting credits. He's one of the Foot Clan. He's one of the fights, the Turtles.
Oh, right.
42 minutes in, he's one of the Foot Clan who had to fight with him. Legend as well. But yeah, I think it's Shredder. He's not really explained. They just go, oh, his face is disfigured. What's happened? And then Shredder's just back in the game, which I know reading all the trivia, they weren't going to use Shredder, were they? But you've got to use Shredder, who was actually, I've said it when we did the first one, Dave, it was Uncle Phil, who was actually Shredder's voice in the cartoon, absolute legend. But yeah, I mean, Shredder was great, but he's underused in this. Like, we don't see a lot. Like, even in the cartoons, like, Kang was the one who was sending him out there. He would still fight, wasn't he? He was always a bit of like a bumbling idiot in the cartoons, wasn't he? He didn't really get the better of the Turtles as such. He was always just like, almost sort of like, I'll get you next time, gadget type character. Where it was really, in the movies, you want him to be. In the first one, he was better, and he was a payoff with the fight because we sort of saw him at the end have a fight. But in this one, he's almost just like, I don't know. He's just this there's no fear in the character of Shredder. Even like, you get Toka and Razor who are like mutated, aren't they, and everything through the Ooze, and they're like, which I believe, I don't remember this in the cartoons. Maybe I'd fell off at this point. So I was about 13, 14 when this come, 13 when this come out. But they become really popular and they had to bring them in the cartoons. Well, I always remember Bebop and Rocksteady. I had the character, I had the figures of Bebop and Rocksteady. Like, I did the stupid impression off the computer game when you'd fight them on the skateboards and beat them up and they fall down the drains and it'd be like, who put the lights out? And all this. Like, the little eyes used to be in the drain where you'd smack them in the drain and that on the side-scrolling beat 'em up. There's a game come out a couple of years ago, a Turtles game, which is exactly like a remake of that. It's a brilliant game. It's on Xbox Game Pass if anyone's got the Game Pass, but it's a brilliant game. You can buy it, but it's a brilliant game. Just old school side-scrolling shoot 'em up. Very reminiscent, Dave, of the cartoons. Very reminiscent of the late 80s, early 90s arcade machines as well. But yeah, again, they were always the baddies. They were bumbling idiots, but I've got to say, I think it was Rocksteady. I had the van. He had a brilliant van. Like used to buy a Mattel van. It was. Oh, Dave, it was excellent. Little rockets coming off here, but it was so used in the cartoon. But yeah, I had quite a thing, like I say, as you can tell, I was proper obsessed. I think it was at the point where we actually got some good Christmas presents and not just a fucking apple and orange. I think they'd like the Transformers because they had what's he called? Sides. Is it Sidewinder? Spitfire. As you know, the story on that one with the Transformers. And then it was the Turtles were my next one with like Mask and stuff. But yeah, I loved the Turtles. I'm so into because we never had pizzas when we were kids. Pizzas are only a thing. Anyone who's younger than us.
It was quite exotic, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. There was no pizzas places. You'd had Pizza Hut, which I think I went to maybe
for someone's birthday, maybe.
Yeah. You go to I remember got a Wimpy in Manchester City Centre, and that was then got a McDonald's, and he had that weird guy dressed as Ronald McDonald, which was just weird. I mean, he definitely needed his hard drive checking, but he'd come out for like birthday parties dressed as Ronald McDonald, didn't he? It was fucking weird, all that, but yeah, pizzas were so when I used to watch these shows, I want a pizza. And then when you eat a pizza for the first time, and it was an Aldi special, like you fried in the microwave with pineapple on, which is fucking minging, Dave. No pineapple pizza in this house. Yeah, it wasn't the same. I just didn't feel as if I thought I could probably use it as a weapon or as a frisbee, but yeah, the Aldi pizzas just ruined the illusion of what the Turtles were having. It was only years later that you started eating proper nice cheese and tomato pizza or pepperoni ones. Yeah. I'm hungry now, Dave. I'm doing 8 minute fasting as well.
I'm very much wanting a pizza.
I am now. I'm not eating. Sorry, it's 9 o'clock. I've got another 3 hours yet before I can eat, but I do actually want a pizza now.
But you're right. I sort of forgotten about that, but it's more like just, fucking sausage and chips or fucking liver and onions.
Egg and chips. Oh,
egg
Dave.
and chips.
No, not liver and onions.
But, it's interesting you mentioned about the game because, and also the fact that Michelangelo is your favorite, and that I'd never really stopped to think about this before. But obviously, I'm sure we would have talked on the original because about the origins of the Turtles being embedded within the Daredevil universe, kind of tangentially. There's so many parallels. So you've got the radioactive ooze, and basically it's when Matt Murdock had got, he'd been in this accident and that was what blinded him, but also gave him his super senses. And then the ooze kind of dripped down the sewer and created these turtles. And then you got these parallels. So in the Daredevil universe, you've got the hand, which are all the ninjas, and here it's the foot. In the person who teaches Matt all of the martial arts and whatever is Stick, and here you've got Splinter. So there's so many different parallels, but I'd never stopped to think about the actual accents. So they're in New York. So where does Michelangelo get his West Coast?
California.
Like, yeah, radical dude.
Cowabunga, dude. Totally bodacious. I used to know all of them, Dave. My accent's not much better. But
I would say I didn't feel really strongly about which were my favorite turtles, but I think I leaned more towards Leonardo and Donatello purely because in the game, in the side, the side scrolling game. Well, if you had Michelangelo and Raphael, well, you'd have the nunchucks and the size, but they were quite short range, where you could get a bit of extra range with the stick or the swords. So yeah, for that reason, I always went Leonardo and Donatello.
It's funny, because you're right, because like Leonardo was the leader and he was actually the best fighting one, wasn't he, really? Michelangelo's probably the worst. I think it was probably Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, then Michelangelo. Well, Michelangelo was like the piss table, whereas Raphael and Leonardo, they were like, Raphael had a bit of a temper on him, did he? He was like a bit of he was up for a fight, whereas Michelangelo was a piss take, gets surrounded by 50 foot clan, and he's like taking the piss, like, hey guys, it's like, again, another terrible accent. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's an age thing, maybe because there's a couple of years between us, and that's not a dig or anything. I just think maybe it was probably more prevalent for me as I was when this cartoon came out, I was at the end of primary school. And then when you go into junior school, you can't really talk to your fucking mates of, did you watch the Turtles last night, Dave? You got to start acting fucking tough, aren't you, and stuff, and like going, because you probably get beat up by the 5th years or year 11, as they're called now. So you have to like play that. Whereas I remember I went to school, I used to love my Matchbox cars. I loved cars and stuff. I mean, my brothers, so they were 18 months and 3 years younger than me, and we'd sit there swapping cars and throwing them at each other, fighting and that. But I was still playing with my cars and my Transformers and the fucking Turtles and that when I went to secondary school. And then there's a point where you're like, I'm not allowed to say that I do that. I just play football. I know it was rugby where I went when I fucking hated it. But I play football all the time. So then it was like, yeah, we're not allowed to do that. So I think it's sort of, as you get to about 11, 12, you lose that identity of a kid, don't you? That innocence. There is a point where you realize what life's about. You start understanding as a teenager, really, that innocence, if you've been protected correctly. You start to lose. And I think I lost a lot of my innocence going into that. So maybe that's why it was more important for me, because it was around that era that was really into him.
I mean, that is a strong theory, I have to say. But I mean, we've already established that I'm kind of the Neil Page and you're the Del Griffin. Del Griffin, sorry, not Del Griffin. So maybe there's a bit of that as well, that why you gravitate to Michelangelo, and I'm like, no, the sensible one, the planning one.
Yeah. I'm the one who's just oblivious to everything in the world. Let's have pizza. Yeah, someone's dying there. Yeah, forget it. Doesn't matter. It's fine. You're probably right, actually. That's a very good thing. Maybe it's just the character thing. I like the chaos, don't I? That's what I thrive in. It's weird, isn't it, having ADHD, because we both got it and we both got different things. But I am very calm in a crisis, too calm. Even when things are happening, when I've seen things violently or things like that, I'm very calm. But you get me in normal day-to-day life, and I am quite chaotic, as a person. But I think I've got that ADHD thing where I probably should have been. I wanted to be a cop, a dinner, or a fireman. I'm very calm in really serious situations, which is very unusual, I think. Not all the time, but most of the time, I'm very chilled with stuff. Whereas the most basic things, like, it shouldn't bother me. Oh, I'm fucking there, Dave. I'm really trigger happy, ready to go, as you know. It's just strange out. So maybe that's why I like Michelangelo. Maybe that's what it is.
You're literally the dog meme. So usually if I'll send that, the dog with the fire behind it.
Yeah, that's me.
Normally I'll send it ironically because it's not fine, but everything's on fire. But that is actually you.
Yeah, that is me, 100%. I can't even deny it. That is exactly me. Get in a crisis, call on me. Anything else, you fucked. Just don't bother. Don't bother.
Everyday life things, but
yeah, don't bother.
Speaking of chaotic things, though, I mean, it gets a bit, again, there's not much of a plot here at all, is there? But the idea that we've got this corporate company, this T.G.R.I, who were, responsible for that initial ooze, and then you get the new monsters created, but the professor who's been kidnapped to create them has made it so that they're childlike and not really much use at all. But what I couldn't wrap my head around is, I mean, the introduction of Shredder just feels like a late addition into the script. Because again, as I said about April O'Neil not really having that much of an influence, I'm not sure Shredder has much more of an influence, but he ends up taking the Ooze, doesn't he? And they basically swap in Super Shredder, swap in a fucking wrestler, so he's massive. And then also the Ooze converts his suit as well. His suit becomes more imposing. This is not a Hulk situation where his clothes shred off. He gets extra spikes and everything. It is another one of those. If I was watching this as a kid, I wouldn't have noticed that at all. It's just I noticed it now, but then I'm like, yeah, okay, it's a kid's movie. But then he just gets fucking. Then the thing just collapses on him, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna come back. This is gonna be a Michael Myers job or something. No, that's him. He's dead. He took the Ooze, went up into Super Shredder, got squished. Game over, man. Game over.
Well, Dave, I've got to pull you up on something. You can't just say it's a wrestler. The guy who plays Super Shredder is Diesel, Kevin Nash, big sexy Dave, leader of the NWO with Hulk Hogan and Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. I can't believe you just said that, Dave. He's just a wrestler. I mean, he wasn't massive when they got him. He's an ex-basketball player. He's he's a bit outspoken. I still see him on podcasts and now, but yeah, he's a legendary wrestler. Never was a big fan, I'll be honest, Dave. He's a bit of a dick, really, but I know exactly. You must remember Diesel, Dave. Remember Diesel, Shawn Michaels' bodyguard? It's Kevin Nash there, the big
I think I'd probably already dropped off by then.
Possible. Now, you've seen Magic Mike, have you? He's one of the guys in Magic Mike. He's a great film, Magic Mike, especially the first one with Matthew McConaughey. He's in the Magic Mike movies. He's one of the strippers, the tall guy. He's got like a long hair and a goatee. He's taller than Joe, whatever he's called, the Maggio, whatever he's called. He's in it as well. He does the dance in the 7-Eleven, but he's the other guy. He's also, Dave, I tell you who he is. When John Wick puts the gun to his head when he's going to go and kill everyone in the club, and he says, "You've lost a few pounds," and he goes, "I've lost about 60, which, Dave, I found out, is actually code for how many people are in there. And he says 60. He's the guy, the big bodyguard, Kevin Nash. Well, there you go, Dave. Anyway, so it's fucking. I had to throw that in there like Ronald Reagan.
Like I say, a wrestler. Yeah.
Fuck off. I knew as I was saying it, you were going to say, still don't know. I thought you were going to say, still don't know him.
I've just been Googling and looking at pictures here, but like I say, I kind of dropped off like 89, 90. That was the sort of time for me when I was absolutely immersed in the wrestling world. So this all came a bit later, didn't it?
Yeah, he was after, to be fair, his success came around 93, 94. He started as Shawn Michaels' bodyguard as Diesel, and then he left and went to WCW, NWO, Kevin Nash with Scott Hall, the Outsiders, Dave. Then he was the NWO, and then he's been in wrestling and back to the WWE and stuff like that. But yeah, he's a bit of a cop really in real life. But there you go. Just thought I'd throw that one in there. Bit of wrestling knowledge. Max, if he's listening, he'll totally get it if you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously, they've got these big mutants that they've got to go up against. They're physically imposing, and they come up with this idea, don't they, to put like the antidote to make them small again into the donuts, and but that sort of half goes to plan, and then they realize there's something in the donuts. But then, Chris, we just go inadvertently into a nightclub, and no one is like, fucking hell, there's fucking massive turtle monsters here. Everyone's like, oh, is this part of the show?
I love that guy
ice in the back.
That guy going, I love the suits. I love this place. I love the suits. And I'm just like, all right, mate. I get a bit giddy here.
Not only that, we get a bit of action and whatever. And then when we just break into choreographed dancing, the turtles are all in time and everything, like Vanilla Ice's troupe or something like that. So yeah, but again, I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my God, this is so shit. But the other part of me is like, oh, this is amazing. How bad it is.
And it reminds me, I'm sure you were in the band. You may not have been, but like, up in Horwich, there was a pub we played at, right? And I mentioned it on the podcast before. I think it's called like the Black Bull or something like that. And we were doing a gig and we've never had it before, but we went full on Blues Brothers where we were doing it. And we'd only been doing the band for a little bit. So I'm pretty certain you were the bass player, Dave, but you might not have been. But we're playing away, we're doing the stuff, and next minute it just kicks off. Like there's about
No,
30, 40
you did tell me
I
about
told
this.
you this.
This
Yeah,
was
so I don't think
before
you were
I
in the
joined.
band. Maybe it
Yeah,
was. And it was a full-on Blues Brothers. There was a full-on brawl, and the manager, he was trying to get between two people fighting, or whoever it was, he's telling us to carry on playing, Dave. You know what I mean? We were doing it, but that's what this reminds me of. If you've seen, I mean, obviously they're not dressed in turtle suits in Bolton. I mean, they might have 6 fingers, Dave, but that's subjective. Sorry, Max. But it's the brawling, and you're like, fucking, and you saw what start, don't you? Have a try and break it up, or make sure you don't end up getting a smack or a bottle thrown at you. But this the fact that everyone just like forms a circle, like it's like the Soul Train or something when you're watching someone dance, like, yeah, no, they're just levering each other. And Vanilla Ice then just starts pulling his song out, doesn't he, and doing everything with his fucking backing stuff. It's ridiculous. And I think you're right. The fact that we get no payoff with Shredder, and he's literally just taken out the game by a mistake, even though he's stronger than him, he's throwing them all over the place. There's just nothing. Like you said, it's a completely pointless bringing Shredder in. You'd have better have had in a brand new character that might have been in the cartoons, or Kang, because he's an alien as such. The whole point of the Ooze was supposed to be alien, but they don't really touch on it. Maybe he should have been the baddie this time and get Shredder out at the end for the third one, so we see Shredder making a comeback. That would have made more sense. But I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm overthinking this, Dave. It's a fucking terrible movie. And Gareth has just absolutely pulled it out of the bag. Pleasure and pain. I had so much pleasure watching it, but it's certainly a painful movie if you're not a fan. It's absolutely atrocious, this movie.
Yeah, I know we've talked about Vanilla Ice a little bit, but again, it's just, I don't know, maybe just being older and fucking more grizzled and cynical. But I'm watching it, and so when we're going into the full "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go," and
Love it.
he's sort of punching the air and stuff, I can't help but notice, like, just the massive fucking shoulder pads, and I'm thinking, crikey! I mean, Robert Van Winkle was his name, wasn't it? That was his like proper name. And I'm like, oh, you're a proper skinny little dweeb in that fucking massive blazer, aren't you? I don't know why it just fucking it came across to me this time. But Chris, did you know after the sort of controversy, if you like, of the first movie, then the British Board of Film Classification were all over this, right? And in the UK at the time, I don't know if you remember all of the stuff about like movies and video nasties and stuff like that. That was more in the early 80s when they all fucking Thatcher and cronies and whatever just went off on one and blamed basically society's ills on watching some sort of scary movies. But nunchucks and like, do you remember like throwing stars and all that stuff?
Yeah.
These were like gold dust, weren't they, to try and get hold of them? I remember looking into a martial arts magazine to see if I could study ninjutsu somewhere.
It's not the only
ridiculous.
Not the only.
But because this film was so, it was leaning into the kids' audience, if you like. So Michelangelo has actually got nunchucks that are fucking sausages in the film.
I know.
But the British Board of Film Classification, they wanted them to cut that out. And it was cut out for years because they thought, well, kids could watch this and still think that they're nunchucks. But they were actually fucking sausages.
It's ridiculous.
It's so stupid, isn't it? And it's like, oh my God, like you talk about like censorship and whatever, but I was, my mind was blown at that.
Absolute nonsense. And I thought that because is it there's only 2 characters. Is it Donatello and Raphael have their own weapons? Is it Leonardo and Michelangelo don't have their weapons in it? Obviously, Michelangelo just explained, but these 2 of the turtles actually have their own weapons. It might be Leonardo and Donatello, but Raphael and Michelangelo don't have their actual weapons in the movie. You never see them. I saw that in the stats, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, I just noticed. I mean, they were as well as the colourful bands that they had. That was how you identified them, wasn't it? But yeah, they again, as part of taming this down, the weapons sort of took a side step.
So, Dave, shall we get into our scores?
Let's go.
So, Gareth, thank you so much for picking this one, mate. I've had so much fun watching this. It's a brilliant movie. If you are trying to find it online, it's on Daily Motion as well in 2 parts. So it is available. Not on YouTube, Dave, which says the quality is still there. So it's not released on YouTube, but it is available, guys. Great movie for me. So much nostalgia. Absolutely atrocious at the same time, as well as being like a great movie. It is so poor. The story is so thin. It's a 90-minute special, so it's that proper sweet spot of like early 90s. It's just enough to keep you going. There's no need for it. There's no story. There's no nothing. Some of the martial arts is terrible, some of the jokes, but I just can't slate it, Dave. I love this movie. I loved it as a kid. Like I said, I love the Turtles. I've spoke about them fondly in this. So I'm not going to be silly and put it at the top or anything like that. I'm going to put it at the top of Hill Valley, Dave. I would probably watch this again, and I mean that. It's absolutely crap, but Gareth has picked a pleasure and pain movie that I'd completely forgot about. So thanks for picking that, mate. And I'm so pleased I've watched it again. So yeah, great movie.
Very good. I don't think, I mean, I did enjoy this, no question. And I think I went in with the lowest of expectations, which probably helped. But I think the fact that they have tamed it down so much, I think if you were to, I don't know, the thing is, if you were trying to introduce like a 6 to 8-year-old into the world of the Turtles, you'd probably go with the cartoons, wouldn't you? I think that would be a better jumping on point. But if you were going to make it a movie, probably this one wouldn't be bad at all. So I definitely think it has its merits, and understanding some of the backstory as well of how, I mean, to get a movie out so quickly after the first one is some going, isn't it? And the fact that it's made by this legendary studio that gave us all these fucking Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan movies and everything blows my mind. But yeah, so I definitely enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. But I'm afraid I'm going to put it more in hell. I was going to say Hell's Kitchen. You know what that is? That's not just going to comics in motion. That's because I got Daredevil on the brain, thinking about the Turtles and stuff. But no, Elm Street, I'm going to put this in. But definitely, if there is a scale for just pure enjoyment, it hits highly on that. But yeah, it's pretty terrible, to be honest. But very, very enjoyable.
Well, Dave, it's my pick, the first one of 2026 in the pleasure and pain category for the year. So we're going back, Dave. We are actually going back to 1977, the year before I was born. And it's a movie that is I mean this, you always take the piss, though. I've got like 50 movies in my top 20 movies of all time. This is in my top 20 movies of all time. This is a movie that, having come and spent the last 4 or 5 months slowly putting a couple of pounds on, Dave, there's about 3 movies that get me in the mood to get my arse in gear. Despite all my training, we have a chat off the podcast before. I struggle. My body dysmorphia just kills me all the time, but I've got a proper plan. I'm unfortunately going to have to go on a 12-week bodybuilding plan, Dave, which, I don't know whether I'm going to stick to it or not. I'm hoping I will. I'm proper, got the eye of the tiger. So these 3 movies get me in the mood to get my arse in gear, to get proper focus on my food, everything. First one, Dave, is Rocky 3. Don't care what you say. Rocky 3 on the beach after Agents Tour, strips off him and Apollo, start, running down the fucking beach. The music kicks in. I'm in, Dave. Even Rocky 2, when she tells him to go and win. Love it. There's that one. There's another movie which probably nobody's watched called, and I've mentioned it on this podcast, called I Want to Look Like That Guy. A guy called Stuart McDonald wants to compete as a bodybuilder. That's still an ambition, Dave, but it'll never happen. And he goes from a normal guy with a bit of a beer belly and all that, and Gassy competes naturally as well. He's not on any gear or anything like that. So he makes him on in prison. It's a great movie. It's actually on YouTube now. It's a fucking fantastic documentary from 2009. I love it. That gets me in the mood. But Dave, the movie that gets my arse in gear and gets me back in there at 47 years old, I still watch it, Dave. This movie's older than me. It stars Serge Nubret, Ken Waller, Ed Corney, Franco Columbo, Mike Katz, Lou Ferrigno, Dave, but the one and only Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dave. We are going to be doing Pumping Iron. It's on YouTube, the special edition. I've got the special edition on DVD. Let's get into the trailer, Dave, because we, my friend, as Arnie says, milk is for babies. Let's go.
Welcome to this year's Mr. Olympia Championship. There certainly has never been a competition like this before.
It's like The Office before The Office was around.
Yes, yes. Yes, he come out 77, but he was actually 75.
Have to do everything possible to win.
This is what made Arnie who he is.
It's better than Garmin.
I dreamt about Arnold last night. I said, Louis is waiting for you in the shadows.
Well, I've not been beaten for the last
what a
7
body,
years.
Arnie.
Yeah.
Even now, Dave, they're all mass monsters.
You're
now.
going to be the biggest
Arnie's
thing
body.
that ever went out on that
Yeah.
notebook at 275 pounds.
what a
They
body.
know that, and he knows it.
If he's in shape, fine. I hope he is.
Half more way, let's go. I want to beat him.
Arnold! Ferrigno.
Those are proper old like
Wherever you go,
gyms
you pose
with
down with
carpet.
it. Let the judges make a comparison. You look at your arms like you're admiring, and then you go, boom.
Love it.
When it comes to the day of the contest, I will mix him up. He will be ready to lose.
I called my mother yesterday already and I said I won.
Arnie.
When we get out there, we have only one thought in mind. We're going to win.
No more, no more.
It's gonna be very hard to beat. Very hard.
Winner of the 1975 Mr. Olympia is...
You'll never get this chance again.
Oh, Dave, chills.
She's gonna fix me up with your sister.
I love it. I can't wait. I know we've never done this one, but I'm getting proper. I'm going to watch this about 3 times this week. I've never watched it more than once when we do a thingy, but I am going to be all over this. I love this movie so much, and it's brilliant.
I watched it as like it's not clear to me even now, and I'm looking forward to getting into more of the backstory of this one. And I'm sure you'll have plenty of tangents to go off,
yes,
lots of backstory and whatever. But you know, the crossover between what's real and what's not real is not clear to me.
No, and there is a lot to that because there's actually, for a bit of homework as well, if you put in Total Rebuild, that's a 45-minute documentary on YouTube. That's when Arnie came back, when he was getting in shape for Conan.
Yeah,
and he won Mr. Olympia in 1980, 6th Mr. Olympia, but they all say he should have won it. And there's a load of conjecture that Joe Vida actually paid off the judges. But I think it was the star power of Arnie, you see, because he's done a few movies at this point, and that won him. Because they always say his legs weren't right and stuff, but they were. He looked unbelievable, his arms and that. But yeah, these are massive. Total Rebuild's brilliant. He talks about pumping iron and then about him coming back for that. Like he was in shape, basically. He wasn't going to do it. And then with 6 weeks to go, he thought, fuck it. But he really exposed Arnie because he was panicked. I'm sure talk about this next week, but he didn't like the fact he was on stage in his Speedos, even though he did it for years. He'd had 5 years off and then come back. He felt really like insecure about himself. So it's really interesting documentary. That's another one, Total Rebuild as well. Brilliant documentary.
I wonder if that's what went into the spitting image. Do you remember the spitting image character? And
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a whole song about how he can't train his willy.
It's not the only one, Dave. Come on, let's not.
But anyway.
Brilliant stuff. And thank you to everyone. Thanks, Gareth, for picking this one. I hope you guys like this one next week because I can't wait. If you do want to email us, the vhsstrikesback@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media at vhsstrikesback. If you do get a chance as well, I don't really mention this a lot, but try and drop us a review if you can on iTunes and that. It just helps me and Dave get out there to more people. I think we're currently sitting at 4.4 out of 5, Dave, and the poor ones we've had, which we do have a badge of honour, is because we don't analyse movies correctly and go off on tangents. Well, unfortunately, that's what this podcast's about. So if you want to do that sort of review, you do that. If you want to drop us a review, we appreciate good and bad, and we always like to read them out. So we've not done any for a while. So please get over there and do that. We do appreciate it. If you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. So the roll call of honor, a big thank you to Reese, Nick, Greg, Gareth, Mike, Lee, Helen Dillons, Dan, Justin, Susan, Tim, Matt Hales, Kent, Lucky Lulu Green, Herbs Jack, Math Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So thank you so much, guys. Absolutely love it. And if you are a Patreon on Discord, we are almost at the final of the Year of the Stitch Up. Dave has done an amazing job, which I do appreciate, mate, because I've not got a fucking clue what you're doing. And Math actually called me out on that, Dave, and I was like, how
he did, didn't he? Very well for you.
Thing. But, how dare you say such a thing? And all I said was, I send you subliminal messages. That's my contribution to all this. So how dare Math? I'm offended, Dave.
That's funny. I think
that was funny. It was.
Yeah.
It's like, how dare you?
He just absolutely cut you down there, didn't he? Like old Super Shredder. You beefed up, and he was like, "No, I do stuff." Like,
I've got a lot.
Like
I'm like the Wizard of Oz, Dave. I'm all show. I'm all show Wizard of Oz, and you're the machine doing it all in the background because you're fucking good at it all.
So anyway, Chris, for our little musical number. Now, normally I come into this and I'm like, okay, so say we did the Breakfast Club. Well, I can't go all Simple Minds. I need to take a different angle to it. And so I'm always thinking about, like, how can I do this and stay away from, like, if there's an iconic track or something like that. And so I think for this one, though, I'm just like, I just could not remove Vanilla Ice from my mind. I'm like, no, I'm just going to go straight on for it. And, you know, the Go Ninja, Go. I mean, say what you want about Vanilla Ice, but I mean, Ice Ice Baby, I hear that now and I can't not listen to the whole thing. Or if I've caught it maybe halfway through on the radio, I'm like, oh, I need to go back and I need to listen to the whole tune. It is just such a great track. And the Go Ninja, Go, you could say musically, you know, it's so simple. It's just this chant repetitive thing. It could have fit in multiple genres. It's not just rap, but anyway, so I've gone full on homage for this one. It's only a short one. And I've kind of borrowed a bit from the cartoons as well, so not just the movie. So here we go.
Yo, stop collaborating, listen! There's ooze in the sewer and the plot's gone missing. In the sewer, turtles in the zone. Last movie was dark, now the kids safe tone. No blades, no blood, no gritty street fight. Just pizza, wisecracks, and fluorescent lights. Shredder fell once, thought the nightmare's through. But surprise, surprise, there's a sequel. Ooze, green slime glowing, splash in the face. Instant mutant powers with zero explain. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Complaint said tone it down, so the weapons vanish nowhere around. Leo's got swords, not today, mate. Raph says ghosted, too violent, apparently late. Donnie don't tech, Mikey cracks jokes. Splinter just sighs, give fortune cookie quotes. Meanwhile, Ice drops bars in the street, knows ninja moves, perfect time and perfect beat. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. Ooze made turtles. Ooze made wolves. Ooze made plot holes the size of pools. Where'd it come from? Who made this mess? Stop asking questions. Go Ninja, yes. Super Shredder big, but he trips and falls. Crushed by some docks and construction walls. 2 seconds scary, then he's gone. Guess the budget ran out. Wrap it up, move on. But still we chant it. Still we cheer. Still remember this nonsense 30 years. It's not the best, but it's got the flow. And that's the secret. Everybody knows. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. Yo, Splinter. Next time, keep the ooze locked up. Word to your master.
Fuck off. You know what it sounded like when Ant and Dec tried rapping? That's what it sounded like, Dave. You know, this fucking brilliant. That is so good. I'm tapping my foot here. It didn't just sound like it was Ant and Dec when he tried rapping. Not fucking Ready to Rumble, but you know, like an album they had at one point, a song that is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
Great gig, mate. Great gig.
A lot of fun with that one. And again, it just obviously borrowing from the cartoon, which of course in the UK, they, again, another censorship thing, they couldn't have ninja in the titles, could they? So it was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, which again, just fucking nonsense from the UK. But anyway, Chris, this has been a lot of fun this week, and I'm sure next week it's going to be protein galore stories, I imagine. But I am genuinely watching this, and I will watch that other thing that I've forgotten about, but I'm sure I'll hear it when I listen back to the editing. But anyway, Chris, thank you very much. Thanks to all our listeners, thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back. That's odd.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go.
All right. Ding, ding.
Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on, ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool. Maybe you crazy something.
But I ain't breathing heavy.
He's a fool. He's stupid. I seen you in 6 months.
I must break you.